Why do people watch streams? It seems like a rather odd question to ask, but consider it for a moment. YouTube videos are of ever-increasing quality and you can just play the game yourself instead of watching the streamer and, I guess TV is a thing too. So why is unedited, less concise, objectively lower quality content so often chosen to be viewed over these seemingly better alternatives? Well, today we set out to answer that very question. Exhibit A. XQC. Guy who sits in chair watching videos and barely says anything. And when he does say something... Fascinating. Often compared to a goblin, XQC is the physical manifestation of the male desire to sit in place with a silent mind and do absolutely nothing. Despite these seeming setbacks, this particular streamer gets enough views to be able to flex on Twitter like a malnourished Dan Bilzerian. Exhibit B. Asmongold. From his gaming passion, natural habitat, dietary habits, and poor personal hygiene, Asmongold is the embodiment of the life that every middle school boy dreams of. Perhaps even causing envy in his viewers for being able to live such a seemingly carefree, innocent, and pre-high school lifestyle. But what do these two have in common? Why do people watch them and many others like them for hours on end? To understand that, we must first understand their dark competition. An evil force that once held great power, now reduced to a shadow of its former self. Exhibit C. The mainstream media. Not as mainstream as it once was, this more traditional form of entertainment has been developing an ever-increasing distaste in the mouths of its consumers. People say it's not what it once was, but I disagree. They say it's getting worse. Nay, I say, they say it's not as good as it used to be. But I must continue to push my counterpoint. It was never good. You call it traditional media? I call it a primitive alpha test. But what made everyone so apathetic of it? And how did that lead to people ultimately watching live streams? Well, in short, people got sick of their bullshit. Viewers were tired of this fake, overly scripted, forced, dangerously dishonest source of entertainment. You've seen company executives put their hands up like this and give you the most lifeless, scripted, investor-friendly public apology for sexual harassment too many times. But why streams? Even with traditional media out of the equation, it seems logical that edited, mostly high-production quality content like YouTube videos would make streams unwatchable and even boring by comparison. But that's the thing. They don't. You see, if people have a distaste for what would be considered fake, then we must naturally assume that they would be quite fond of media that is considered natural. The two previously mentioned examples of streamers exercise pure degeneracy in the most public place in the world, the internet. An actor tries to look pretty in a movie, combs his hair. Asmongold doesn't give a horse's rectum if his hair is combed on stream. Asmongold doesn't care if he even has hair on stream. A live stream is the most natural, unfiltered version of media that you can get. Not just because it's a live unedited broadcast, but because this broadcast is of some relatable human in their room interacting with their viewers behind a topic of shared interest. That would make streams the exact opposite of overly artificial mainstream media. Right, because live stream viewership grew to unprecedented levels during the pandemic, when everybody was in lockdown and needed connection. And streamers were very, very easy to connect to. You can't get that in any other form of media, because there is a very obvious difference between mainstream media and live stream content.
Is that a chicken?
If you've ever been a gamer in a poor community, you know how poverty fuels piracy. If you want to hear more about that, watch this video.